Welcome back, my Nakamas, and today we have a special video. It was 2.5 months since the last tier list, and we're doing today another tier list from OP03. We see the new decks, what they do, what they can, and which their place in the tier list. But leave a like and subscribe, because the last time I had given out the black starter deck, the person, Enigma didn't respond. It was over 1.5 weeks now. Since 2 weeks I'm waiting. I'm giving away now the black starter deck, and because we got the goal for the purple starter deck, these two. To avoid something like this happen again, I only count comments from this video. So commenting down below, what is your favorite card from OP02? Let me know about that. And guys, I saw here the statistics, like from the last video, 94% are not subscribed. So subscribe to the channel. I will pretty appreciate it if we hit the 1,500 subscriber. Only 18 away. We got this, and let's go into this nice tier list. Okay guys, we are right now at the tier list. We can start. I show the new cards, especially for the new decks, but I can talk about a little bit. We have cards here, I look them up and I show you guys everything we need. And we start with the Akainu starter deck. Black getting in the new set CP9 support and some few black cards you can play at your black deck. But this leader doesn't do anything so well. It is cool to play, to having in your deck, but pick your Lucci up as soon as you can, because you don't play Smoker anymore, because the CP9 engine is pretty strong. They can do a lot, but that will come later on. And we will put Akainu into a kindish tier 3. I don't think this can do something in OP03. And next, coming with the blue croc, I think as well, sadly enough, that the blue croc will not have, I don't know why they had this cut off. I did the pictures like this, but they want to their head cut off, because maybe they have to have long heads. Blue getting not so much well support in the set. You have Arlong, what you can do, and having support for it, but I necessarily don't think that this deck can do something. Double color crocodile for me T2. In the next set, OP04, it gets a lot of support. I saw some cards and was really hyped about it and thinking, it can do something. Then we having Dofi is for me as well one of the best tier 2 decks. Luffy is a deck that always can be played, because you can always have substituted some low cost blue cards. They're pretty good for the deck. I can throw them into my decks. Some promos we don't expect, like Jinbei, I can throw them in my deck. And that's the one thing about that makes Doflamingo pretty good. But the next Doflamingo will be Cancer. I saw some cards from that and it's pretty OP. And OP04 we have a new version for that. But I think right now that the Dofi is blue is tier 2 potential roll 3. And we coming with blue again. For me, Ivankov is a little bit stronger, but I would don't put Ivankov anywhere. For me, is Ivankov Rogue. Rogue that can specifically kill tier 1 decks, but can always lose about them as well, hardly, and with some other decks at the list here. So Rogue is a deck that can perform on tournaments. Depends on what you having on the top list right now, because if you see the Japanese meta and our meta, there are different metas. So always, if you say, okay, this deck didn't perform so well, here it will perform. This deck didn't so perform well, they didn't play so much this and this, it will perform. Or people will play and having stuff into it, and that's a good thing. Then we have Garb. Garb is for me a tier 2 deck. Double color can do Blackfins, can play Bosolino, can play Nami, can search something like that, have a okay effect-ish thing. For life it's a little bit, but we're getting 5 double color this next set. Purple Kaido, also purple, blue and purple, is for me tier 3. The normal Kaido is for me Rogue, because the purple cards are pretty good and you can play it with a new engine you played right now. and with the Implant Down engine, I mean. And Punk Hazard is a pretty good card, and for me this is Rogue. You can fear it if the 10 drop kind of comes, and if you have the control and have the early game the Onigashima, but other decks have power creep as well, pretty much. And that's the thing, what's the problem out is. Kit, leader effect is pretty good. Green itself didn't do so much in OP02 because it was like a red wave, but Kit is for me as well tier 2. It do some things with the ability and with the cards, but we don't have so much great support come with it. Then we have Kinemon. Kinemon as well. It's hard to put Kinemon into because it didn't had so much play possibilities or playthroughs in Japan meta, but it did its job as its deck, as its whole of the deck. So I will put it as a tier 1.5. It is not near tier 1. Yeah, the decks I mean for near tier 1 are the 3 at the top, or the 3 next to tier 1. But for me, you can play this deck if you have skill. You can put it as a performance thing where you can go and where you can go on this board and stuff like that, spending and punish your opponent. King, bro. I don't know, this effect is cool if you come to the late game, but not so much if red running around, it's the problem like that. Law is a deck for me, as giving always support, is always strong, it can do always something on board, and Law for me as well near tier 1, it's tier 1.5. Luffy is a red deck. Red decks are always strong, so I will put Luffy as a tier 2. Having Buggy enable to search out your stuff for not Nami to pick your event cards, like Point Gun and Radical Beam, and having multiple cards that give you more hand cards enable is pretty nice. And for the one done, giving something you can play as well, some specific cards. The dual card deck with the film cards is a pretty nice deck for Monkey D. Luffy duel, but I think that's not necessarily doing the thing that should do. For me, it's Rogue. It has a huge combo potential, and sometimes you play out 4 or 3 characters, and if your opponents don't have the answers, then he has a problem. Magalan is for me a tier 2. It is better than King. It's better than other stuff because you can do some things, and the thing is about Magalan that you have problems with red. You get a lot of Storm versus red. Kinemon for me is a really good leader. It do something at this meta. Some people top of it, but not quite much as something else. It is for me tier 2. Sanji, we can potentially to tier 3 as well. It's pretty nice to having access to getting 2 extra done, but the 4 life is the problem. Like Shanks, it's pretty nice to have him for the film decks, but we need especially an extra set with a huge more support that you can give and get for the stuff. Then we have Smoker. Smoker for me is as well a rogue deck you can play, have nothing so much support for your card that you're getting because it's a little more CP9 engine for the Rogue Lucci, and that's the thing about it. Whitebeard is tier 1. Since Moby Dick got banned by our side, Japanese play or Malaysian or whatever plays these deck on and on this deck top without Moby Dick, and that's the thing that you see is pretty strong. And the same goes for Zoro. These both decks switch cards. The Whitebeard cards go into Zoro and the Zoro cards go into Whitebeard. So you're seeing especially right now 2 red decks doing things what is pretty broken. And for Zephyr you're getting a free tier 3 as well, but I think the Croc is better for the bouncing. Then it comes to Sanji. Then the Zephyr. Okay, Zephyr do a lot of in Japanese, so in OP02 I should respect more Zephyr 100%. But I don't know right now where I could pull Zephyr, because tier 3 you can put it as rogue, but the set do especially other stuff that you want to do. And now we're coming to the new leaders. Okay guys, now I show you the ace. As ace for me first of all is tier 1.5. Red is doing a lot of things and is really favorite for the One Piece card game, because in law is red as always, so red is always threat. Good, for ace as a leader. When this leader attacks or is attacked, you might trash any numbers of event or stage cards from your hand. This leader gets plus 1000 power for every card trashed. So we're having a huge deck with a lot of event cards. What we are getting to get help by that is Izo, Sorry, not Iso. One down below, Buggy, because Iso is YP support. This character cannot be OP / characters, what is pretty nice. On play, you can look at the top 5 cards and add one red event to your hand and place at the bottom of your deck. What is pretty nice, adding red event cards to your hand, since you having as well nice event cards, Flame Emperor, as mentioned. Main, if your leader is Potter the Ace, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 power less, and your leader against double tech. Pretty nice. And 3,000 power for this turn, so 8,000 double tech and you kill something. This card deals 2 damage. This double tech meaning trigger, KO one of your opponent's character with 6 power less, which is pretty nice. And as a small version, we have main and counter. If the leader includes wipe your parrots, give one of the opponent's characters minus 4,000 power this turn. 4,000 power, nicht 4,000. This is German for 4,000, 4,000. And what we having as well is this card here. Has an adult Fire Fist. Man, you might trash one event card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5,000 power less, and end up one of your opponent's character with 4,000 power less. You having this one here, you lead against 4,000 power during this turn, and we're having a stage card as well. You can read on, and what we saw here, that we have a new Marco that you can read on and pause, and as an Iso for a searcher. Then we have this little boy Spagil you play as well. Some cards you can play for your deck, for your Whitebeard deck. That's the reason why Whitebeard is still tier 1. Then we coming to Along. Along is a Neo 1.5 deck, so I will put it as the best tier 2, but is the best blue color deck we having right now. Support what we're getting for Along is green, so Along says first, Don 2, when attacking for 1 cost, play up to 1 character with a cost 4 less and a trigger from your hand, so it has to be 4 cost less and a trigger card. So we're searching up 4 cost to trigger. We have Kurobo, East Blue on play. If you do this East Blue, rise up to one of your opponent's character. Then you can swing with your Along over it and stuff like that. Then we have Chu on play, kill one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost 4 or less. And more we have a Nami that can search for on East Blue cards, what is pretty nice, and you can mix it up with some green cards that we have in here. Jin is pretty broken on play. If your leader is East Blue, type rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters with cost 4 or less. And we have as our boss monster in the Don Creek, what you can read up as yourself as well, what is pretty nice. And we have as well Kuro. We can put Kuro, where is Kuro, at a better green deck. One of the decks that can nearly be tier 1, because it's pretty nice. Active main for 3 cost. You might rest 2 of your East Blue type characters at this leader as active, and rest up one of your opponent's character with a cost 5 or less. What is pretty nice, having this effect, and he's a 5 life leader, what is pretty nice. And as I showed you the cards, you can play some cards with it. What new events we're getting is out of the bag. Man, you might rest 1 East Blue type character set up to one of your current cards as active. What is pretty nice, that you can swing multiple times with this deck like a kid deck. What's pretty cool. Then we have this funny card. You may rest as a main, you might rest one of your East Blue type characters, KO up to one of your opponent's rest characters because of that's what's pretty nice if you suspend something and then you can kill it, or if they have a Rush Storm on board, then you can kill it if it attacked. And main rest up 2 of your opponent's character for cost 2 or less, what is pretty nice. And then we have 1/2 Django, it's pretty funny card as well. He sleeps as well on this artwork. It's pretty funny. You can do some combo stuff with this deck, what is pretty nice. And I think Along will fit in this place, but Kuro will one of the decks that can be played with Law for the best screen option and can hold with Kinemon, what is pretty nice. Then we have Nami. We see Nami getting a nerf, because one of the blue cards from here got nerfed, that you draw 2 cards if the other type is on the board, and with Nami cards you can bounce back cards, play this card and then loop. What you're doing is play this card, draw 2, then attack with something, bounce back, play this card for 1, draw 2, stuff like that. But for me, Nami is not that. Nami is a really good tier 2 deck. Let's read Nami first of all, then you know what this character can do. And as well, these artworks are pretty nice from the new adults. Effect: when your deck is reduced to 0, you win the game instead of losing according to the rules. So she's making the rules because she is pretty nice. For Don 1, when this leader attacks, deals damage to your opponent's life, you might trash one card off the top of your deck. So your deck is especially doing milling. So you draw cards and stuff like that, and for the combo, if you draw like 8 or 10 cards, then it's pretty high number, and that's the reason why they banned the card. We're gonna Usopp here, pretty nice at rush, and for the moment this character attack deals damage to your opponent's life, you might trash 7 cards from your top of the deck, what is pretty amazing. I'm sorry. Then we have on play draw 2, trash 2 cards, what is pretty nice. Then we have Zeph, pretty nice alt art. On turn 1, when this character attacks deals damage to your opponent's life, you might trash 7 cards off top of deck. And on play, you might return one of your character with cost 3 or less to its owner hand. You could play them for 1 again and draw 2 and trash 2 cards from the top of your deck, what is awesome. And then you have like with this effect 4, and if you hit next turn, then you have like again plus 2, 6, 7. You have 13 cards if you play the 1 cost character that is currently at 1, stuff like that. It's pretty amazing, and we're getting a little bit of more cards here. Some of the event cards you can pause and look up to. I love like main draw 2 is pretty good as well for a 3 cost card. 3000 words is a pretty nice card. Main plays up to 1 character cost 5 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck, and trigger plays up to 1 character with 3 cost. This is pretty nice. And then we come into Iceberg. Sadly, Iceberg did not so much for me as well as Rogue as a new deck. We don't know what to do with the deck, but sadly, this leader has an opposite side. It says this leader cannot deck, and this is the first thing first. They did this and did do this in the next set as well for dual color leaders, but dual color leaders can play dual color. What is better than that, and having a better effect in Iceberg. For the active effect, main, Don 1. You may rest this leader, play up to 1 of your Galley Lake Company types character cards of 5 cost less from your hand. It's pretty amazing that you can play this for -1 Don, but in the early game you have problems because you have a lot of rush decks. You can play Kaku when attacking Don 1. This character against Banish, as example. You could play like a little bit of the higher ups. This is what is this? It's V7, and he says Galala Company character. Then you have the Poly on play for 2. Then in the next turn, at 1 up Don deck that are 2 active. Then if you have 8 more Don cards on the field, KO up to 1 of your opponent's character for less. It needs time and combo potential. That's the reason why it didn't do so much in Japan. What we're having are new beast. This is support for the Kaido deck. This one gets banished, and on KO if your leader has input down type at 1 Don card, what is pretty nice. And Mino Force Phonizeros. Okay. On KO if your leader has input down, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card. What is pretty nice in the early game for 3 cost 5000. This will be pretty good on the sneak. Yeah. Then we're getting a new Luffy, what is pretty funny. And some new this is the Lucci. This one is pretty nice as well. And we have some new event cards you can look up. Then we coming to Rob Lucci and Big Mom, and Rob Lucci is pretty easy. It is tier 1. This deck is pretty amazing and doing amazing stuff in Japanese. What is pretty strong about it, and this deck is for me nearly better than Kai. For me, this deck like it's hell of annoying. It's really annoying, and it's pretty broken. What does the leader do? First of all, he's black. Black have a lot of good support from the set 1. You can play in this deck Basilino, Akainu, and the Ice Boy. Kuzan, sorry. Your turn, once per turn, you might trash 2 cards from your hand. When your opponent's character is KO'd, that is levered as active. So you can potentially swing, you discard 2, what is okay, and then you swing with 7k. Kill something, you can swing again. Late game, mid game is pretty nice, so it has a little bit of a kit effect, but you need to require a specific thing to KO an opponent's character. But it's not so enough. Isho says done. One, give all of your opponent's characters -3 cost, what is pretty good as well in the smoker deck. On play, if your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, trash 2 cards on hand, so you can steal cards. And steal 2 cards and having 9,000 as an A cost is pretty amazing. Then we have Kaku. On play, you might place 2 cards of a type, including CP from your trash at the bottom of your deck. In any order, KO one of your opponent's characters with a 3 cost or less, what is pretty cool. So you're having board clear as well, with the Sakazuki and stuff like that. You have a lot of board clear. Then we play a card that looks pretty good for some people as well as for me. Then we have Khalifa. On play, draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand. Then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. What is pretty nice as well, but is a 2000 counter. Then we have a 4 cost 6000 vanilla. Komadadori, you play him as well, it's pretty good. Stuff like Spandam, you know him on play as a searcher. What is pretty nice. Fukaku is cannot be affected by cannot be called by effects. What is pretty nice in the early game and is blocker, as well as Bulonero. Don't want this character against blocker. And on KO plays up 1 character type with CP at 4 costs from your hand rested. What is pretty good. You place these both cards in Big Mom as well. And then we have our Lucci card. It comes in, I don't know if you get it in gold or this card have a specifically print. I don't know if it is what it is or yeah. If you look up, it was not like one special rare. Oh, we only get the Zoga King rare. I don't know. On play, you might place 2 cards with a type, including CP from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. This character against rush. So you're having a 6 top 7000 rush, what is pretty nice. And then we having some of the nice cards. I was laughing off this artwork, like it's pretty funny. I give up to 2 characters -2 cost, it's pretty okay. And this one is pretty good. You might trash 1 card from your hand up to one of your leader character against 3 files for the ability. So you're trashing a lot of hand cards, and then you have a stage as well. That's for that first. Then we have Big Mom. Big Mom is for me always a tier 1.5 deck. What is pretty good, and we having a starter deck. This Big Mom is it's hard to tell. You can play her as well. It's for me as well a tier 1.5 deck because blue getting a lot of support, but having a Big Mom leader with like 4 life double color is pretty amazing. What does she does? Don't do when attacking for 2 dom. You might trash 1 card from your hand. If you have 1 life or less, add up to 1 card from your top of your deck. If you life card, so you can heal you again, so yellow heals you, especially a new ruling. And like I told you, you can play these 2 black cards in your deck, or these cards are played. But let's see what we're getting. Katakuri will come next to you. Yellow has a lot of ways to play, and we have a lot of cards that we're getting. Specifically, we have a searcher, we get a starter deck, and we have a lot of cards. There are key cards for this deck that you can look up into. But let me come and explain you with the Katakuri, what is for me tier 1. The thing is, the Mobi deck was a problem for Katakuri in Japanese. So it got nerfed, so you can play Katakuri, but Katakuri is not necessarily just better as Whitebeard and Thing, is pretty good versus Black, and especially now versus the Whitebeard matchup. What Katakuri does, it is Don 1 when attacking, look up to one of your, you're attacking with 1 Don, and then look up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards. Place it to the top or bottom of the life card, and then leader again plus 1000 at this battle. What is pretty cool of your opponent, so you can choose of your life or your opponent's life. Sorry, it's like near midnight here, I'm recording this, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing something wrong. And we having the cards here, that is, let me look, I'm so hyped for the set. Something you play in this deck, don't when attacking, you might add 1 card, one card on the top of your bottom of your life cards to your hand. You don't want to do that because only you're playing as a 2k counter. You have your Searcher Pudding. This card is pretty good. If you play him, you can trigger play him, but you need to trash a card. And then 1 he gains double attack and plus 1000 power is pretty cool as well. You play like Opera, something like that. 4 cost 6000 manillas are pretty good as well. Then you play your Peros. On KO look up 3. Also on KO look Add 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Big Mom Pirates type card added to your hand, what is pretty nice. And trigger, you might trash 1 card to play this card, so you're stacking on top, lose life, and then play it. Your boss monster's Big Mom on play. If your leader has the Big Mom Pirates type, add 1 card from the deck to your life, so you heal 1, or you choose your opponent to get 1 life, live or death, like this. You play Stroisen as well, but Stroisen is your 2k counter. You might trash 1 card with a trigger from your hand, KO one of your character cards with 1 or less. It's okay with Cesaro matchup. It's okay to play him. You can play as well Smoothie if you want to, and there is nothing more there he can be played. Sometimes Charlie I see as a blocker, but nothing more. A card is played is Shiro Oshi. Trigger is pretty nice, coming from life. On play, draw 3 cards and trash 2 cards, which is pretty nice to having, and it's a 1k counter. You don't play Napoleon, but I really think this will be nice if we're getting more swords and stuff like that for the nice support for the deck. Then we have some event cards, what are pretty good. This one gives plus 5000 power, it's pretty amazing. Bus Mochi would be played as well. Tropical Torment would not played, and Thunderbolt is one of the strongest cards I saw as an event cards. Main, you might trash 1 card from the top of your life to KO up to one of your boss character with 5 cost or less. If you play this on the Big Mom, then you have less life and heal 1 again, you didn't lose a life for KOing 5 cost or less. Then we having Sogeking Secret Rare. Didn't showed up for the Nami deck. Is treated as name Usopp according to the rules. On play, return up to 1 of character with 6 cost less to the owner's hand, then draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards, what is pretty nice. As well, we're getting Sogeking Manga Rare. Then we having Katakuri card on play at up to 1 character with a cost 8 or less to the top or bottom to its own life cards face up. Right now we don't have something higher than 8 to play from our life, sadly, but maybe with support coming we can choose up, like I do now, crack on my top of my life, and then if you attack me I draw something, or do Shiro Oshi on my life, then draw 3, discard 2 cards I don't need to, and then we getting this nice wanted card as well. But yeah, this is for the tier list. I'm pretty hyped about this set. For me, Rob Lucci is the winner. It did in Japan. It needs a little bit while till this deck comes, but I hope you liked it. Sorry if I talk something less in this video or more in this video than the other ones. Just a little bit late here, but I need to record it. Thank you guys for watching. As always, leave a like, subscribe, and have fun to find your way at the One Piece. Bye.